episode 4031, When the Path Feels Impossible.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're ready for an extraordinary week. In fact, take a deep breath because I know for a fact that something extraordinary is going to happen to you this week. Don't know what it is, but God's got you when the path feels impossible. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Some of you have been asking, Christiane, what's going on with the website? I'm getting there. We're down to the nitty gritty things of like, this doesn't link up with here, and wait, the donate thing should go here, and it's the little things. But I don't want to release it till the little things are basically done, so then you're only having to work with a few things because technology is technology, and even though when we release it and it goes live, there's still going to be some hiccups, I'm sure. So I appreciate your patience. Thank you for inquiring. Thank you for reaching out, sending me those emails. That means I know that you care. You want to be in community. You want to be a part of this family, and that's what Create Your Now is. It's a family. I started it that way from the very beginning. I thought about you from the very beginning. I don't take it lightly, neither does my family. You're truly an extension. And that's why it's so important for me personally to show up here every single day. Not because I have all the answers. No, I don't. I share a lot of stories. I share my tools and strategies, and hopefully you gain something from it. Maybe you don't make the mistake I did. Maybe because of my mistake, your eyes were opened and so you took a different path because of whatever it is. Regardless, I'm glad you're here. It thrills my heart, and know that I pray for you every single day. I think about you because you are family. And with family comes what? Problems, right? There's struggles. There's stuff that you just wish didn't happen, but it does. And so with that, sometimes we have to figure out, how do we get over those speed bumps in life? How do we go around the detours when there's construction zones? You know, resilience is more than a mindset. It's a series of deliberate actions that push you through struggle and onto growth. And too often people cling to the idea that simply, I'm going to think positive, or I'm strong enough, is truly enough to bounce back from setbacks. You can have a comeback from a setback, but here's the thing. Resilience doesn't live in your head alone. It demands muscle, sweat, and the willingness to take consistent steps forward, even when the path feels impossible. You know, think about how many times dreams wither quietly under the weight of shame for giving up. Life doesn't stop throwing punches, does it? Responsibilities pile up, distractions multiply, and suddenly what you have left isn't fuel for thriving. It's just enough to get by, day after day after day. Well, if this sounds all too familiar, it's truly time to stop spinning your wheels. Stop spinning your wheels in survival mode and start moving toward resilience that leads to growth. You can't go out and do what God has called you to do, what He created you to do, your purpose here on this earth, if you're not willing to take the next step. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. So where do you learn to thrive when all that's been left behind is exhaustion and frustration? Because that's the reality. You come home, you're tired. The dinner dishes and dogs. Oh, wait, don't forget the kids. And you could think of the kids as the two-legged creatures or the four-legged creatures. They're creatures. And they all cause havoc. You love them, but they cause havoc. Let's be real. It doesn't matter their age. You can be carrying them in your tummy, or you can be watching them grow up and they're on their own. And everything in between, it's like, if somebody told me how hard this would be, I would not have signed up for this. So how do you pull yourself together? You got to figure it out. You got to put on your big girl panties, as one of my mentors and coaches would tell me, and get to work on what you're ready and called to do. What God has divinely designed you to do. You got to do something. That is your Kids to Keep It Simple strategy. Do something. Don't sit there with your arms up high, going frailing, going, help me, help me. That may work if you have a fire. But you got to do some things not on your own per se, but you have to be willing to take that next step on your own. It may be with others, but it still requires you to commit, right? You got to do something. Because let's be real, nothing worth having comes easy. Nothing. If you've ever bought a house, it doesn't come easy. I don't care if you're building. I don't care if you bought your dream home. Buying a house is one of the toughest things you'll ever do. Why? Oh, let me give you the long list. It's the Santa Claus list, let me tell you. I don't have to give you the Santa Claus list. You know that. You know all of those because there's a lot that goes into buying a house. And it's not just about finances and getting the loan and doing this and going through the inspection and then haggling back and forth as to what should we really purchase the house for, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're building, oh my goodness, hold on, because then you have to make all the decisions from ground zero. Crazy. But you see, nothing worth having comes easy. Because if it did, everybody would have exactly everything. Nothing grows also from doing nothing. We wish it would. As much as we would like to have a garden, you got to go plant it first. And even after you plant it, you have to cover up the seeds. Oh, wait, and then you have to fertilize. Then you have to water it. Then you have to keep it, tended to, like all the weeds out, fertilize it again, make sure it's safe from critters. Big ones, little ones, even your own critters on 2 legs or 4 legs, because they can be just as destructive as the squirrels can be, or the birds. Nothing grows from doing nothing. So you got to do something. If you desire to bloom despite the chaos, all the weeds that are growing up around something, you got to be willing to do something. What does it look like to build your resilience and clear the way to thrive? Number 1, choose small, consistent wins. Resilience isn't about giant leaps. It's about showing up daily and knocking down small targets. When you focus on tiny, manageable goals, like writing a paragraph, like you want to write a book, right? So just 1 paragraph a day, that starts you writing again. Maybe it's making a sales call. You're like, oh, Christiane, it's so hard for me I got this great stuff and I want to share it with everybody, but it's hard for me to pick up that phone. Pick it up. 1 call. And then it becomes easier, right? It's just 1. It's a tiny, manageable goal. Maybe it's declaring an intention for the morning. I'm going to get up 10 minutes early and I'm going to have my time with God. I'm going to get in the shower or I'm going to go work out. And during that time, it's my workout with God. That's how I see it. I love working out with God. I do not like working out with me, if I can be so honest. I don't. But I look forward to having conversations with him. So that gets me out of bed. You see, my friend, you're training your brain and your body to lean into success because it's these tiny, manageable goals. Something that says, yes, you got this. And these small wins, they build momentum. And it extinguishes the shame and overwhelm that come from staring at the giant mountain all at once. I cannot stand the saying, but it makes sense. How do you eat an elephant 1 bite at a time? Elephants are huge. I was watching the Masters this weekend. Were you? And when I say the Masters, I'm talking about golf, if you're not familiar with it. In Augusta, Georgia, it's beautiful. Oh my goodness, the grounds are gorgeous. The flowers, I'll just watch it for the landscaping and nature and seeing everything and watching the birds just show up all of a sudden and, how they fly into the pond and how they go out. Just all of it. It's just gorgeous. Then they do those overhead shots and I'm like, oh, to live like, you're on a golf course. I mean, not really, but I mean, nature is so beautiful. But you see, I know that the people that were on the golf course from Thursday through yesterday, they weren't looking at nature. They were more worried about where their balls were landing, because it's the Masters. The coveted, you got it all Masters. And I was watching it. It was amazing because we had a lot of USA people in the top 12. We had also, there was Ireland there. And let's see, who else was in the top? England. I'm trying to think who else was in the top 12. I think that's what I remember off the top of my head. If not, if I forgot, I'm sorry. I try to remember all these things. But I was watching the Masters and I'm thinking, what are those tiny, manageable goals that those guys set? Scheffler, as he's trying to go for a win, and he was up there. I've been watching him. He's been up and coming over the last few years. Some of you are like, yeah, what about Tiger Woods? Well, Tiger Woods had an issue and didn't make it. He had to bow out. You can go search that up. I'm not going to talk about any of the things that go on in his case. I will say, pray for him. But these guys don't just show up and just hit the ball. They go and they go to driving practice and they practice and they know, I know I've got to hit this ball with this particular club and I got to take it 250 feet or yards or however they count it. I can't remember. See how much I really watch golf? I really watch it for the nature and the birds. I'm just saying. All the landscaping. It's gorgeous. All the flowers, yes. But seriously, right? They have to know the feel. When they have the ball, whether it's on the ground or sitting on a tee, like what does that look like? What does that feel like? Putting versus the club 7 or 12 or whatever they are. The drivers. They got to know it because when they're out there playing in the Masters, they don't have time to figure it all out, do they? Choose small, consistent wins. Number 2, create boundaries that protect your energy. You know, if responsibilities and distractions are stealing your power, and they can. You've got little ones, oh, they're stealing you. Every bit of you, every ounce of energy, right? You got to learn how to take back control by setting clear boundaries. Most of the time it's for yourself, not for them. It's for you, right? And that means saying no to toxic relationships. Maybe you got this friend who just carries on way too much. And they call you all the time. Maybe you need to not answer the phone so much. Not because you don't love them, but because you are in a different season right now. And right now, you don't have time to listen to their same story over and over and over again for the next 3 months because you got your own stories you need to take care of, right? Say no to those toxic relationships. Maybe you need to say no to unnecessary commitments. Do you have to be the only mom who volunteers at your children's school? I don't think so. Let someone else step up. It's okay. It's okay to say no. And maybe you just need to say no to anything that drains your drive. Maybe you just can't do what you thought you could do this season. I got to back down. I can't volunteer for this, or I can't be a part of this. That's okay. It's a season. This too shall pass. Protecting your time is not selfish. It is strategic. It's the easiest way because you cannot get your time back. And resilience flourishes when you shield your focus and energy. So you will then have the fuel to take action on what matters most in the season that you're in. Let's go back to the Masters. Do you think a lot of them had to practice more than probably they wanted to in order to get to the top 12? It was crazy. At one point, they had like 6 or 7 tied for either third place, I think it was, or fourth place. It was all over the place. Maybe it was third place. And you know, when they're tied for a certain one, then they run down and then they're like, oh, now you're in number 9th or whatever, right? So if they had someone started in the 3rd position, then they had 7 people or 6 people underneath them, right? The next person then would be number 10 if they're not 10 under par, whatever the tying number is at that time. Make sense? I know. Golf strategy and talk here. Probably, yeah. We don't have to get into details. What it means is they're keeping score. But they can't get the score that they want if they're not protecting their energy. Do you think it's wise for them to stay out till 1 a.m. when they're sitting here going for the Masters? Don't think so. Probably not a good idea. Why? Because, a round of 18 of golf, that's a lot. And they got to play 4 days straight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they got to qualify. They may get into it, but they still have to qualify to continue playing. So it's not like they just show up and, best of luck. No. They got to be on their game. They have to have these boundaries to protect their energy so they can finish strong. So they've got what it takes to get to where they want to go. Finally, number 3, build a battle-ready support system. No one will thrive in defeat alone. Surround yourself with people who push you to keep moving and hold you accountable when you want to quit. Maybe it's a mentor or coach, a community like AIM when we open it up. Having a tribe that gets real with you and challenges your excuses makes a difference between giving up and doubling down. It's easy to throw in the towel. It's hard to double down. But you see, you do a double take of giving up if you've got someone who challenges you in love. And we need that in our lives because honestly, sometimes we are too emotionally engaged in what we're doing. And that's okay because we're human. We're not a robot. We're not AI. And with emotion, that really does entangle us into other things that can throw us down a different rabbit hole. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But that's why. You want to have a battle buddy system. A group of people that you know, like, and trust till death you do you part. Seriously. And I mean that sincerely. You better watch it because some people are players in the wrong way. They'll act like they care only for what's for them. That's all they care about. So you got to be careful about who you choose. And that's why you got to say no to some toxic people. Get rid of them. And then you got to say yes to the tribe that's, they love you. And honestly, sometimes you think, I wish I had a family like that. I know, I get it. That's why we're opening up AIM soon. We got to get all these things in place because a lot of us, we don't have the family or friends. And we need somebody else, someone that may live states away from us, countries away from us, but they get us. That's your tribe. That's your battle buddy group. That's what I want for you. And it makes all the difference between giving up and doubling down. My friend, resilience is a verb. It is action layered on top of intention. As I was watching the Masters, it was interesting because good old Rory McIlroy, he's from Northern Ireland. He was on top as of Saturday, and Sunday he started, up there. And then at one point, he was behind by 3. And that's kind of hard, don't you think? The last day, you've worked so hard, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now you're on the last leg of it. And all of a sudden, you've made mistakes early on. And now you're back 3 from the top. You see, everything that he did prior to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday got him to the point of resilience. He didn't give up on himself. He doubled down. Not only did he win the Masters, but this was his second year back-to-back. He won last year. Do you know the last time they had a back-to-back green jacket win was 24 years ago when Tiger Woods won 2001 and 2002. Interesting, isn't it? They've only had 4 players to do that. He's now in a group of only 4 individuals, counting himself. Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, Tiger Woods, and now Rory McElroy. I'm telling you right now, quitting was not in his middle name. It took him 17 years to reach his first green jacket. That was last year. His parents weren't able to be there. And in fact, they said, maybe we shouldn't come this year because maybe that's what you needed for us not to be there. But guess what? Mom and Dad were there. It was a sweet win. Probably better than the win last year. He had his daughter there, Poppy, and his wife. And his mom and dad held him tight after he came off of the final 18th hole. My friend, you don't win like that by barely surviving. You don't win like that by thinking, I'm just going to will myself. Positive thinking is going to get me another master's. No. If you want to thrive, you've got to lean into the grind with focused daily moves that strengthen your resolve, guard your energy, and fuels your forward motion. That's what Rory did. He turned surviving into thriving. It wasn't about, I got my green, I'm good with it. He came back and said, I want it again. And he proved to himself he could. Now, I will tell you, if you watch the Masters, it was not an easy win. He ended up 12 under par. And at one point, I think he was telling the story that he was hoping if he could get to 14 under par, that would basically secure him, but he only got to 13 under. And then the final thing, he did actually a bogey on his last hit on the 18th hole, which brought him down to 12 under par. He still won, though. Scheffler came in second at 11 under par. And then they had a few tied for third. I cannot remember how many. It wasn't an easy win. It was anybody's Masters to win. But McElroy said, you know what? This is my Masters to win. I want the green jacket again. You got to be willing to be resilient. Action layered on top of intention. That's how you turn that surviving into thriving. When the path feels impossible, become unstoppable. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life, and love your journey? Visit CreateYourNow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.